call the Livington Planning Commission to order. Welcome each one of y'all here tonight. We're going to move right into our business here and approval of the October 28, 2024 minutes. I need a motion that it be approved.
I make a motion we dispense with the reading of the minutes and be approved.
Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
All for the...
Get you a second, get you a second.
Second, please. Second.
I'll second.
Ricky Mack. Okay, all for, aye?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item 3, consideration of final plat property located on North Spring Street and West 6th Street, Adams Corporation, the petition.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So we have final subdivision plat submitted by the Adam Corporation for the purpose of subdividing 0.50 acres into 3 proposed new lots for property located on North Spring Street and West 6th Street. Lot 1 would consist of 0.16 acres, which is 6,772 square feet and is currently vacant. Lot 1 would require a 9-foot lot width variance and a 728 square foot lot size variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals. Lot 2 would consist of 0.17 acres, which is 7,500 square feet and is currently vacant. Lot 3 would consist of 0.17 acres, 7,500 square feet and is currently vacant. The proposed new lots are zoned R2 high density residential, served by an existing 8-inch water line, an existing 6-inch sewer line, an existing fire hydrant, and would comply with all other requirements of the subdivision regulations in the zoning ordinance. Mr. Carlisle is here representing the Adam Corporation, and you can ask him questions or me questions pertaining to this proposed division.
Anybody on the panel here, questions?
So if you guys will just look at the monitor right there, lot 1 is the one that's in question. The other 2 meet our requirements. In the R2 district, we require 60-foot wide lots, and as you can see here, this one is 5180, and then 7,500 square feet is the minimum lot size in R2, and lot 1 is 6772. Earl, anything to add?
Well, in case nobody knows what we do, I know Tommy does. We're building houses, not a fancy house, but a good house, and we're selling them below market. We like to sell them to veterans, to first responders. We've sold three already, and 2 of them are to veterans. We rent a house over the housing authority that we bought, and it's to a first responder. And that's what it's for. We're not making a lot of money. We're just making enough to keep building the house.
And Earl, is Adam Corp, is it a not-for-profit or a non-profit organization?
Non-profit.
It's a non-profit organization.
We'd like for you to approve it. What we would do if you don't approve is to build 2 duplexes. There'd be room for that, so. But we'd like it approved if you would.
But you're wanting to build houses?
Yeah.
How large of a house?
The ones we've been building are 12 to 1,400 square feet. 2 of the ones we sold are 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Which you know they wouldn't be large bedrooms, but they're very nice houses.
But they're new houses, and that's gonna be a good thing.
Brand new,
Yes.
you'd have 3, the city would have 3 new tax lots.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
And that will be pending Board of Zoning Appeals approval.
Motion by Bruce, second by JJ. All for, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. None. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4, consideration of final plat for property located on Villa Drive, Norris Division. And Mr. Randall Norris is here with us tonight too.
Yes, Mr. Chairman,
Where is he at?
All right, this is the Randall Norris final subdivision plat. Randall Norris final subdivision plat, dividing 3.29 acres into two proposed new lots for property located on Villa Drive. Lot 1 would consist of 1.59 acres that's currently vacant. Lot 2 would consist of 1.70 acres in an existing residential structure. The proposed new lots are zoned R2, high-density residential, are served by a 12-inch water line, 6-inch sewer line, existing fire hydrant, and would comply with all other requirements of the subdivision regulations and the zoning ordinance. Portion of both lots lie in the 100-year floodplain. And we have Mr. Norris and Mr. Raper here to represent this plat. No variances are necessary for it, though.
You have any questions?
Any questions for him? Everybody knows exactly what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen the construction going on, and the only bad thing about it, you got Leroy Carmen. Just kidding, Leroy.
We'd like to get this lot, I thought, we would try to do something with it eventually, that's what we're supposed to do yet.
Any other questions?
And I will show you, it's kind of oddly shaped. As you can see, it's got this real long skinny piece here. Of course, nothing can be built there. And then it widens right here. It's kind of a reverse flag lot. It's got all the road frontage, but there's a portion of it that's really, really thin. You know, this portion right here. Well, I mean, in the street bisects the lot, right? It goes right through it. And so basically what they're doing is they're separating it. So it'll be, have one on one side of the street and one on the other.
Randall's done a really good job with everything he's ever owned, so he's a good developer, and I think I trust his, judgment when it comes to doing something like this.
Okay. If not,
I got a question on lot number 1. How much of that is outside of the flood zone? See the small corner here in the northeast?
Yeah, let's just.
See that?
That's it.
That's all. So if there's any construction to be done here, it'll have to be built up 3 feet higher than the base flood
That's
elevation.
minimal, yeah.
Yeah, minimum, thank you.
Yeah, the bank would require you to have flood insurance, something that was purchased with a structure on it.
Yeah, and we require that as the
Yes,
city as well.
yes. Mhm.
any other questions?
But Mr. Norris, if you do decide to build something on number 1, you'll have to get with Mr. Rutherford, get a stormwater permit issued,
Yes.
so you'll know how high to build that structure up.
Yes, sir.
I move we approve.
Second.
Second, thank you, Robert. All for it, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's do this.
You want to do that now?
Just ask, so we move on to other business.
We're gonna be doing some other business, and, if any of y'all want to leave at this time, you're more than welcome. If not, you're welcome to stay too. So,
I've got one thing here, this is the city, the letter of credit, they paved the street over there. And
East 7th Street.
this is, just past the location school on what goes to 7th Street. Anyway, we had a letter of credit because we wasn't gonna do it, we did this sewer and water and all that, but we've got it paved now. And, we decided to release, well, Christian looked at it, he's not here, but Christian looked at it and said, we're ready.
Yeah.
I didn't do this,
No, I don't, well, they might want to, Earl, but I'll kind of let them know. We do have a sign here by Christian and by the mayor, that it has been completed to the satisfaction of the city. And so, he had to put a letter of credit down to get a final plat recorded, and we hold on to that letter of credit until the work is completed. And so now the work, we've got it signed off on here. If anybody wants to see that, I'll just pass that around, let you look at it. It's been signed off on by Christian and by the mayor that we can. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
You talking about by the old gun store, that's the section right there?
Questions?
Yeah, we've got, gun stores here, it goes right by east.
Yeah, Seventh Street before dead ended, I believe, in High Tech Drive.
Yeah.
And so it's just an extension of Seventh Street across High Tech.
You build your territory. So far, we've built one house on each side of that.
Yeah, I got excited because I live on East Seventh too, so. Hey, my street, right?
But ours is real nice right now. And we don't wanna build it and then start digging it up for the water and everything, so we waited till we got that done, and that's all we had to give it. Letter of credit.
We make a
We'll need the motion.
approval or?
Motion to release the letter of credit if that's the will of the board.
Yeah. I'll say.
Second, all five, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Training.
Yeah, we will. I'll turn the lights off. You can give that to Earl, Robert. So I guess officially, we would like to welcome Lori Richards to her first official meeting, even though she came in last time, right as we was wrapping up. Pleasure to have you on our board, Lori. And so, what I thought I'd do is we've got about 15 minutes before the BZA comes in, so I thought I'd take that time to kind of go over, what the purpose of the planning commission is, what you'll be responsible for, and for everybody else, this will just be a nice little refresher of the things that, of what exactly the planning commission does. And so, I'll start out by saying that every city and county is allowed to have a planning commission in the state of Tennessee, and that is established by Tennessee code. And so, established by the code, the city of Livingston, then the board of mayor and aldermen or city council adopted and voted to establish a planning commission, and they voted to establish a municipal planning commission, meaning that they have jurisdiction inside the corporate limits. There are cities that have what's called regional planning commission, and they have jurisdiction outside of their corporate limits, but we're not that. We have jurisdiction inside. And so, what exactly do we have jurisdiction over? So, the first thing, as you've seen tonight, is we have jurisdiction over the division of property that's less than 5 acres. So if you'll see there up on the screen, lot 1 is 1.5 acres and lot 2 is 1.7 acres. So thus, all divisions like that within the corporate limits come in front of us, and we determine whether it will be approved or denied. And typically, if it meets all of our requirements, then we approve it unless there is some sort of underlying safety issue that we can't see. The second thing that we do is we make recommendations to the board with regards to the Livingston zoning ordinance. And zoning ordinance simply regulates land use, says what you can or can't do on your property. We have a map that every parcel in the city has a zoning designation: residential, commercial, or industrial, one of the three. And so the board of mayor and aldermen, they control the zoning ordinance, but we make the map and the ordinance, but then we make recommendations to them as to how to draft or amend that zoning ordinance. And then the third thing that we do is we have jurisdiction over site plan review. And site plan is just simply the layout of a multifamily, commercial, or industrial construction. So if someone wants to build an apartment complex, or a grocery store, or a factory, they have to bring us a layout of what they're gonna do. It doesn't have anything to do with construction. That's what Mr. Rutherford's for. But as far as the layout, they bring it, show us where the building's gonna be located, they show us how many parking spots that they have, they show us, make sure that it sets off of the property lines far enough, and then they show us how they're gonna get in and get out. And so we look at that, compare it to our requirements from the zoning ordinance, and then we either approve it or not. That has to be done before they get a building permit. So that's the three things that we do when we're in here. And then the composition of the board, you can either have, as a municipal planning commission, you can either have 5, 7, or 9 members. We have 7, and so our composition is made up of 5 citizens. We have a member from the board of mayor and alderman, and then we have either the mayor, or in this case, the mayor's designee. So the mayor chooses one person to sit, the mayor chooses a council representative, and then the mayor chooses all 5 citizen representatives. And so when it comes to who confirms these seats are simply chosen by the mayor. Now, I believe in Livingston, we take it to the council after the mayor makes the appointment, but she has the supreme choice or jurisdiction when it comes to appointing these members. I did pass out these handouts just talking about subdivision plats and these that you see here, because these subdivision plats are how we determine how someone wants to divide a piece of property. And you can kind of look on here and see, the first thing you look at is, how big is the lot? And if you'll see here, it'll show how, it'll give the dimensions, 140 or 154, and that's how deep it is. And then it'll show how much road frontage it has. We also require that it shows all the structures on there. So as you'll see there, it's got an accessory structure there and primary structure there. And then you can see these dotted lines here, and that shows the building setback. And that makes sure that the structures on there are off the property line. You can also see somewhere, we also require utilities are shown. So you see the 12-inch water line there. 254 over here. I think, but yeah. And then there, the sewer line runs up like that. So we make sure they show all that kind of stuff. And then over here somewhere, there it is. It shows the zoning of the property. So we make sure, and each zone has different requirements depending upon what the use is. So a single family home is gonna have different requirements than a factory as far as what their lot size is gonna be, or a commercial business. And so this is what we look at. We also look at make sure that it's on a public street. And as we talked about earlier, this particular property, this is a good example. You see it says FEMA flood zone A, so it shows that this property is also in the flood zone. And so basically with this, they bring us this, I check it against our regulations to make sure that it meets everything. If it meets everything, like I said, unless there's some sort of safety hazard that wouldn't be listed in our regulations, then we do approve it. If it doesn't meet all of our requirements, such as the first one that we saw tonight, where that lot there was not in compliance, it has to go in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and they hear things on a case-by-case basis. We work hand in hand with them. We're different members, but we work hand in hand in concert with each other. And so they're going to be hearing this case here in about 10 minutes, and if they approve it, then the developer or the petitioner can go, get this recorded, and then it becomes a legal lot of record. So, just summarizing all that, I know that's a lot of information, but we review divisions of property less than 5 acres. We advise the city council with regards to the zoning map and the zoning ordinance, and then we also approve site plans, and that's layouts for multifamily, residential, commercial, and industrial structures. That's new structures. So if, like when the new pizza restaurant went into where the old Parkway is, they weren't required to bring a site plan because it was the same use as the previous use was. So it's for new construction.
So if they had wanted to build on the second proposal in the flood zone, then that would have brought up some different things that we would have had.
Well, and they probably do want to build on that at some point, and so we have a different set of regulations, none that we have to be involved with, but that our codes enforcement officer, Mr. Rutherford, he has to make sure that it's built to a certain standard, so far above what they determine the flood, the base flood elevation is.
That's what I picked up on.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions? Got any other questions?
No, I think that's good.
All right, well, just a little summary of kind of what we do. That's all I got, Mr. Chairman. Mhm.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Need a second on it. Wait, just a second before you do it. Before we adjourn tonight, we're gonna give you an opportunity to address this board right now. You have 5 minutes to come to the podium up here and address the board, if you're welcome to come and do it now.
Just a suggestion, maybe tell her what you do here.
Oh,
Because you have some powers.
Yeah, no powers whatsoever.
Under certain circumstances,
I'm a-
you're allowed to prove certain.
I'm an advisor to the planning commission. And, yeah, Ron, you're right, we just recently enacted that if we don't have a meeting, or for whatever reason, whether it be a holiday or lack of a quorum, that I'm allowed to approve subdivision plats that are 2 lots or less. So this, I would not have been able to approve, they would have just had to wait till the next meeting. But this lot down here, because it's only 2 lots, I would have been able to administratively approve. And I'll also say, and it's great that Ron mentioned that, because we do not meet in December due to the proximity to the Christmas holiday. So if anything comes in between now and our meeting, our proposed meeting date, or our normal meeting date, which would be December the 22nd. If anything comes in between tomorrow and December 22nd, 2 lots or less with no variance requirements, meets all our stuff, then I can approve it administratively. If something is submitted on the 24th, it has to wait until the January meeting. Now that's all I got, Mr. Chairman. Sorry.
Now I make a motion to adjourn.
We got the shell on the second.
Okay. All for it? Aye. Thank you.
All for it.
Roger.